What's good, y'all? I just wanted to make a quick little video. I received a little bit of backlash about supporting Nipsey Hussle from my peers in the gay community because of some of the quote-unquote homophobic things that he said in the past. So I did a little research, and y'all can enlighten me if there's more than this, but what I found that he said was not necessarily homophobic. What he was talking about is something that is very real in our society. There is absolutely an agenda to feminize the black man in America. There's an agenda to misconstrue sex and gender in general in America and in the world. Look at people like Young Thug and some of these other rappers that came from the hood and now all of a sudden they're running around with skirts on. You know what I'm saying? And it's one thing to be a drag queen, to be androgynous, to do both. That's lit. If you're somebody that does that and it's authentic and it's real, go for it. I'm here for it. I'm living for it. But you can tell when some of these people are paid to perpetuate these archetypes that you know, the powers that be or whatever you want to call them are trying to put out into the world. There's always been an agenda in this country to demasculinize the black man and make them docile. You know what I'm saying? Everywhere you look, there's an attack on the black man in America. And more importantly, there's an attack on the divine masculine overall. When you look on Instagram, when you look on, Twitter, when you look at your spiritual people and all of that, all you see, divine feminine this, divine feminine that, feminist issues. Everything is about women being mistreated. Everything is about women rising up. Where are the people who are talking about the divine masculine and the attack that the divine masculine is under right now? Just because we live in this male patriarchal system, you have to understand that the system is controlled by the 1%. That 1% does not speak for the divine masculine. The divine masculine and the divine feminine, they need each other. They can't exist without the other. And this has nothing to do with sex and nothing to do with gender. Whether you're gay, straight, male, female, non-binary, trans, you have both of these within you. You have the divine masculine and you have the divine feminine. The divine masculine being your sun, your solar energy, your rational mind. The divine feminine being your moon, your intuitive, emotional body. You need both of those things to be a complete human being. So we need to stop being so gung-ho about one or the other. It's about both. It's about how we can integrate both of them together and be a fully awakened, conscious being. So when it comes to Nipsey and his comments about, how he's not going to fall for it or this and that, you can tell that he chose his words carefully. He didn't come out and call anyone a fag. He didn't come out and throw out any slurs or anything like that. He spoke in code, because you can tell that how smart that brother was. But this is another thing too. If you disagree with one thing that somebody does, that does not all of a sudden negate their entire body of work. All beings are light and dark. There can be someone who's a mass murderer, a serial killer, and they can still have a ridiculous amount of light to offer to the collective. There are still lessons that they can teach you. If not, they wouldn't be here. They wouldn't exist. Every single being in existence is here to teach you something. They're a lesson that you can learn. So instead of demonizing people because you don't agree with something, drop your ego, pick your perception up out of your own mind, bring it up here, and think from up here. And look at them from that perspective and try to think about what they have that they can teach and offer you, despite whatever it is that they did wrong. My boy XXX Tentacion, when he died, I got a lot of flack for supporting somebody that, beat up a woman. First of all, they never went to court. I don't know for sure 1000% what happened. And if he did do all of that, he still changed his tune. He still became somebody who was mixed up in philanthropy and who was trying to spread peace and positivity out into the world. So if you look at all of the lives that he was able to change by just giving people money, throwing out infectious positivity, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you have to be able to think, okay, maybe this person might hurt one person, but then they might help hundreds, thousands of other people. Balance, duality, all beings have that. So we need to stop judging people. We need to stop being super Virgo and looking for that one thing that people do wrong so that we can dismiss their entire body of work. This is how the universe works, and this is how the universe tests you. If you're somebody that's very judgmental, the universe will send you your salvation in a box that you don't like, just to fuck with you and see if you're ready for it. So if you're someone that's constantly judging people, maybe you should think about that. Maybe you should look at yourself a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Now, with that being said, there is an agenda to feminize black men and men in general in this world. But as an astrologer, we know when people have Uranus, Venus aspects, when people have lots of Aquarius in their chart, there are people like myself who came here to experience the challenge of being different with their sexuality. So, on one hand, sure, there is an agenda to perpetuate, femininity in men, perpetuate homosexuality because it's difficult. It's harder to be a gay person. So, in essence, if you can make more black people gay, it's easier to keep them down and oppress them. And we know that this system thrives on oppression. So, in one hand, yes, there's an agenda for that. But on the other hand, we know sexuality, homosexuality, trans, all of these things show up in the natal chart. They're lessons. They're natural lessons. They're things that we signed up for that help us see our karma and alchemize our energy. So that's all I wanted to say. Be aware that there's duality within all beings, and always try to think of, what that person is here to teach you, whether or not you fuck with them. Peace.